Hey guys, good morning. Let me get in front of this dang on thing. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time to give out a little video real quick. I got hurried up. Alright, so quick video. So, NASCAR has decided to ban the Confederate, Rebel, whatever flag you want to call it. So, as we know, that flag has two, you can either say some or a large majority of people has been a symbol of racism towards black people. I guess you could say it's been more of a symbol of a white supremacy, saying that, hey, we're above you. This is us saying that we still kind of want you to know that we're looking down upon you with this flag. Because that's, it was used for so long by the KKK, or still is, and other situations to suggest that black people were inferior to white people. Excuse me. Now, for some, like my buddy who's a Civil War reenactor, they don't see it that way at all. They don't disagree that it's been used in previous ways by people that I just mentioned before who were racist, this and that. But they don't view it that way. Personally, me, I view that flag on how it's displayed, by who it's being displayed by. If there's some racist friend, let me take that back. First of all, I'm not racist. I don't have racist friends. I don't know people that are racist. If I did, they wouldn't be my friend. Okay? Well, let's just say I had a racist friend, or I knew someone that was racist that was flying that flag. Well, of course, yeah, I would be like, hey, you're flying that flag for no good reasons. There are some people, though, especially, I remember when I was in high school, I went from Bedford, Virginia, is where I'm from. I don't live there now, thank God, but small little town, especially with the younger kids, when I was in high school, and there was black people I knew that would fly the Confederate flag. There's a black guy I knew, and he wasn't mixed, he was black. And he had it taped up in the back of his truck, And, call him what you want. I think those are maybe called like Uncle Tom, so to say. But when asked about it, he said, oh, I just think it looks cool. I remember a friend of mine in school was drawing a swastika symbols on his binder. And he got sent to the principal's office and everything else for it. And they said, why'd you do it? And he's like, oh, I just saw it, and I just thought it was a cool looking symbol. That was... He didn't know anything about Nazi Germany or anything. He just thought it was a cool symbol. And you're talking about 8th, 9th, 10th graders. Now, adults, some are different. But I do think that there's some of these people that just think the rebel flag is just, or Confederate flag, it just looks cool. I think they, it's the same way where, like, I don't see them anymore. What used to say, like, the little rebel flag short shorts with girls used to wear, or the little rebel flag, little tube top things women used to wear. And I think if you'd ask most of them, they just thought it was something that looked cool. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm naive to it. I don't think so. I've been to a lot of NASCAR races, and a lot of them I think are just people that they think it looks cool. It's just like a lot of things in this country. It's trendy. It's not trendy. I shouldn't say trendy, but it's looks good, smells good, feels good. We'll use it, right? So, with that said, though, I understand there's a large majority of people that, display that flag in a mannerism in which they're trying to say, hey, I'm racist. I don't like this type of person. And that's completely wrong, right? Um, I thought Bubba Wallace, it's his right to give his opinion on it being banned at NASCAR races. I don't care either way, really. And the reason why I say I don't care either way is because, for one, it I don't know, and this is from my personal experience. I don't know any black people that have said they felt uncomfortable wanting to come to NASCAR because of rebel flags. I've been to races at Darlington, all through the South. I've never seen it. I've never heard it. Maybe I don't live in a neighborhood or maybe I don't live in areas that have that. Um, I've never heard of it being a problem. Um, I'm sure it is. I'm sure in some places there is. Personally, me, I'm not upset they got rid of it, and I'm not really upset that they didn't keep it or fought to keep it or whatever. I mean, I just don't really care. Um, I don't think it's doing a whole lot, with all the public events. I don't think it's making that much of a difference. I think it's just basically more of NASCAR's. Well, I think NASCAR, regardless of what you want to think, I think their hands were kind of tied once Bubba Wallace went on CNN and said, "Hey, this needs to go." I mean, what are they supposed to do? Like keep it. So I think A, their hands were kind of tied. B, it's no mystery that NASCAR's fan base has went down quite a bit over the years. Ratings and everything else. I mean, yeah, the ratings have been up, but when I see people like Eric Steep and all these other people on YouTube with these huge platforms, which is fine, they've earned it, talk about all the high ratings. Like, the ratings are still low compared to some of the ratings that used to happen in the 90s, buddy. Like, we keep doing these comparisons, but they're back from like 4 or 5 years. You're not seeing like 10 or 15 year comparisons when, that's when they were like, hey, let's put all the mile and a half tracks. I bet you all the TV ratings for all the tracks back then, in large part, were way higher than the ones now. So I like how we like to try to do this whole like, oh, well, it's 2% up from last year. Yeah, but it's still 50% down from 15 years ago. So I'll get off that soapbox. But anyways, yeah, so obviously NASCAR is trying to kind of encourage, you know, everyone to feel welcome at the racetrack. And that's great. They should be doing that. I could kind of see how, black people could feel like NASCAR would be tied in with racism a little bit. I guess I could see that. Given that in the 1960s there was like the Dixie 500 at Darlington, there was like rebel flags starting the race and rebel flag. It was just like, good God, I totally get that. It's easy to see a lot of the good old boys sport was made in the South, So, and I also want to say in general that I'm not racist. I don't like I said. I think I said earlier. I don't have racist friends. I am a staff sergeant in the Army, and I pulled aside a black E5 and a black E4 subordinates, and I asked them, two of my soldiers. I said, "Hey, you guys live in the same town as me. We're about 120,000 people." I said, "You guys have been living in this town longer than I have, actually." I said, do you guys see racism, police brutality, whatever?" And they said, majority no. They've never seen any police brutality or any unfairness or targeting by the police. They've never even seen it. They have seen flashes of racism, be it driving on the highway or whatever, but they haven't dealt with it. So I think what's frustrating for me is a lot of these. I feel like NASCAR has and it still is kind of getting political, and I get it. There's people that watch the sport and everything else that are ignorant, that are idiots, that I guess need to be told, don't be racist. It's like they just grew up underneath a rock their whole life or something. But what's unfortunate is for the people who, like me, don't need to be told not to be racist, right? And so when I just want to see a pre-race about racing, I'm kind of not forced because I have DVR, but I'm kind of being made to watch stuff about Black Lives Matter, this and that, and I'm like, well, I'm not that problem, you know. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I think because it's something that never affects me and I'm not around, it doesn't bother me. And I get it. This is not a typical political thing to where it's like this is a life and death thing for some people. But on the same token, it's not a life and death thing of people I know. And I compare that to, and I don't know if it's a good comparison, but it's kind of like people that die in the military from loved ones, and it's like, oh, my brother died, and it's always bothered me, and I'm sad about it, and that's why I hate the Afghanistan war, because he died because whatever, and people that don't know anybody in the military that was a really good friend of theirs and had someone die overseas that just could care less really, and that happens. There's people that are out there that don't have military friends, that don't understand, that don't really care. I don't think it's a very good comparison, but I'm trying to kind of convey what I'm trying to tell you. So I just feel like, it reminds me also, I'll go back to it. I learned at 18 years old at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, when I was in the military, I learned really quickly one thing I had never seen before in my whole life. And it was basically one person fucked up, did something wrong, and everyone else paid the price for it, right? And I compare that to now because it's like, Kyle Larson or whoever did something they weren't supposed to do, police, and now it's like the people that are just normal, non-racist people living their life are having to see it explode on the TV. They're having to read about it in the news. I get it's a current event, but we have to see all that stuff, and it's like, well, we didn't do it, So that's frustrating. That's frustrating because we're not the contributors, but therefore we're still having to listen to it. It's kind of like, hey, we want you to read this rule book because all these people broke these rules. We know you didn't break any of the rules, but we want you to read it anyways. Well, okay. So that's where I stand on it. Again, with them banning a Confederate flag, I just could care less. I care about the Black Lives Matter. I do care about it, but I just, and I'm not going to do this comparison tit for tat thing or whatever, but it's like a lot of the movements and everything else with the LGBT, all that stuff. I just don't really care. I'm not really against it, but I'm not going to be a super supportive person. I'm not going to make a negative comment, like if I see Bubba Wallace's Black Lives Matter car on Twitter, I know it's in my best interest to just not say anything. And what bothers me too about some of that is it's like everyone's, it's like a lot of these people that are promoting Black Lives Matter and getting rid of the Confederate flag and everything. It's like I get it, that's something they're passionate about, and they're very tolerant of what other people that have similar views of them feel. But the minute someone comes across, and some of them aren't even making comments, they'll just put like a thumbs down or something at a post, and it's not that they're saying they're racist. Maybe they just disagree with it. You can have a non-racist person think that the Confederate flag should still be in NASCAR. And I saw a guy put like a thumbs down or something, and they're like, "Oh, you racist, this and that." I'm like, he just put a thumbs down, like that's it. He didn't even say anything. Like, why is it that you're tolerant of people that have such similar views with you, but you're so intolerant to people that have, I wouldn't even say different, maybe slightly different views, but not opposite. It's kind of like in the middle or whatever, and that's what I don't understand. I don't understand. That's my whole deal with this, and that's my whole deal with this whole Confederate flag thing. Is I feel like it's more of it's I feel like it's kind of being real tolerant of a certain viewpoint and perspectives and everything, but very intolerant of other perspectives. And that to me goes back to the core politics that this country's always kind of battled. It seems like, especially in the past 10 or 15 years, when it comes to the Democrats, Republicans, it's just it seems like it's always extreme around the board. Um, so that's my 2 cents on it. Again, uh, for the record, you know, I don't support any type of police brutality. Um, I don't think that that officer that did that, he should get life in prison, or probably get the death sentence. Um, whatever's coming his way. I never thought he should get let off the hook or anything like that. There's no room for that, and there are still some people that are generally very racist and very uneducated and stupid that they need to be wiped off the planet just as much as anything else in this world, um, and should be hit repeatedly times with old mining equipment over the head because they're just stupid. But you know, it is one of those things. Um, I just I just feel like there's a group that's kind of um, staying quiet, and that it's not that we disagree or agree so much. It's more of just that we just want to kind of go along our lives and not have to kind of be forced to see it all the time because we're not those people. But you know, you can't filter that. I mean, it's kind of like when you go to court for DUI. It's pretty much a blanket policy. Or you go into court for a speeding ticket. It's pretty much a blanket policy. You went past the red light, that's it. I get it. With this, there's not. You can't. Pick and choose kind of who to target, who not to target, because no, it just doesn't work that way. But it's a little unfortunate that everyone has to be subjected to it. So, anyways, I hope that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's my 2 cents on it, and I hope you guys have a good week. I gotta hurry up and hustle, get ready for work. But yeah, just keep keep educating yourselves on history and other people's world's histories and things like that, and don't just watch the news and take it to the bank. Um, get things from different angles, get history from different angles, get history from different perspectives, get history and what was involved leading up to that historic thing. And I think that will help you be more educated when it comes to a lot of these civil rights changes and things of that nature. And it'll help you understand that not everything about the Confederate flag was bad just because Seth Meyers says it on CNN or whoever, or whoever says it. So just keep that in the back of your head. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have a great week. Be safe out there. A lot of bad drivers on the highways. All right, bye.